I think that after 7 or so years, we cyclists are now starting to get our heads around just what a gravel bike is. Certainly under any GCN video featuring gravel bike, there are far fewer comments these days saying, gravel bike? What's the point? It's just a road bike with bigger tyres. A hybrid cyclocross bike. It's just a mountain bike from the 90s. Just pointless. In recent years here on GCN, we've compared gravel bikes to road bikes, gravel bikes to cyclocross bikes, and gravel bikes to cross-country mountain bikes. And so I really feel like we've got to the point where we truly understand what the point of a gravel bike is and what its strengths really are.
Hold up, Richardson. Hold up. What do you think of this, my gravel bike?
Oh my God, Alex, what have you done?
Well, I've opened up Pandora's box, that's what I've done. And this is what it is. You think you know gravel bikes? Well, not yet you don't, because this is gravel bike versus gravel bike. Come on, side. Oh my God!
Okay, jokes aside, we do know what gravel bikes are, but isn't it cool that you can have so much choice? You can either buy or build up a bike that is tailored to your exact requirements, whilst also still resting easy in the knowledge that no matter what gravel bike you do build up, it's still going to be super versatile.
And to show you the differences, we've put up two bikes at the complete opposite ends of the gravel bike spectrum. Well, and we're going to push them to their limits and see how they are.
What a minging day. Now, my bike is the Salsa Warbird, and I've spec'd it to be as pared down and as fast as possible. Salsa can, and in fact do, lay claim to having made the first gravel-specific bikes. They've been involved in gravel racing since gravel racing began, and this is their latest weapon. Shimano have very kindly supplied 2 GRX group sets for us to use. Alex and I, as you can imagine, were more than happy to ride them, but it's also a great way of showing the versatility of GRX.
Speaking of versatility, I've even mixed in some of Shimano's XT mountain bike components here. I've got the XT chain set and the cassette as well. And what a thing this is, it's a Mason in-search of, and it's a forward-thinking steel frame that is, well, it's an adventure bike ready to take you anywhere. And one of the most striking things on this bike are these massive tyres that I've got in here. And I've got 2.3-inch tyres, which by gravel bike standards are pretty big. And to enable this bike to fit such wide tyres, it's got boost spacing, which is a technology drawn from mountain bikes, and is why I've got a mountain bike chainset on here. We've got a much wider seat stay area than what we traditionally have on a bike. And if you were to switch down to a slightly smaller 650B wheel, you can even fit 2.6-inch tyres on this bike, which is even more impressive and can enable you to go on far more aggressive terrains. I've also got a dropper seat post, again, technology drawn from mountain biking, and to operate that, I've got my GRX left-hand lever, so we've got a nice slick setup for that. And sticking at the front of the bike, we've still got a drop bar, but it's incredibly flared, and I'm using Shimano's GRX dual control levers. And these two bikes might not be peas in a pod, but they are definitely related. And if you want to check out how we built these bikes up, well, we've got a video detailing that over on the tech channel, so it's worth checking out too.
We are not going to race these bikes head to head. Instead, we are going to take in a leisurely ride with some gravel, some forest single track and some tarmac, and we're going to take you guys with us.
So, when was the last time you ever went for a leisurely ride?
That is a good point, Alex. Might have been 2014.
A little while ago.
Right, Alex.
Shall we?
Let's do it.
Come on.
Mate, you look good on that.
Oh, bloody hell.
Oh, you made light work of that. Right, now we're rolling. We thought we'd tell you about the bikes a little bit more. Firstly, Alex, you got yours set up one by, right?
being a rowdy gravel bike, this is what it's all about. It's all about being extreme.
And the other reason that we've got to talk about that you've got an XT crankset on there, reason being is that Mason have designed the bike to have boost, and it allows you to design in more tyre clearance basically, but you can't get a GRX crankset with boost.
No.
But because it's all part of the Shimano ecosystem, it all fits together. Now I, on the other hand, am at the complete opposite end of the spectrum with my 2x setup. I've got a 48 tooth big ring compared to Alex's 34.
Yeah.
So if the speed ever picks up today, Alex, then well, I would say I'd leave you choking in my dust, but probably floundering in my weight.
Weight of mud.
Is more appropriate, yeah. Honestly, Alex, this was gravel in August.
Yeah,
You've just got to take my word for it.
Whatever. Right. Before we tackle this first bit of single track, it's important to note one of the big evolutions in gravel bikes' short history is, well, the change to tackle more demanding terrain, much more like what you take on a mountain bike. And why is that? Well, because it's just good fun, isn't it?
It is good fun, yeah. For a road rider who is just venturing onto dirt, or in this case mud, for the first time, it might seem like it's a bit of a handful, but a lot of us out there have got our roots in mountain bike or cyclocross, and so it kind of feels a little bit like coming home. Yeah. It is different, but it is great. Go on, mate, I think you better lead on.
Right, come on then. Let's do this. Dropper post activated.
Ah, don't rub it in. Whoa!
Come on, side. Come on. I'll tell you what, that was good fun, isn't it?
Oh my word, yes it is.
Wow, it's just, I'm amazed at how much grip I've got, but not only the amount of grip, but the control and stability of these big wide tyres and the geometry of this bike over the roots and rough terrain. I'll tell you what, it's really impressive.
Yeah, now, I definitely didn't have quite the same level of control as you, but I do have to say, I love riding difficult terrain on a traditional gravel bike or a cyclocross bike. Like, it pushes the bike to its limits, it pushes me to my limits. It's not as fast, but it's still super good fun. And I know that sounds ironic coming from a man that spec'd this bike to be as fast as possible, but it's a different type of thing, isn't it? Like, being slow on the road because your bike's holding you back, I find really frustrating, but being slow off-road because you're really having to work the bike,
yeah,
I find really quite rewarding.
Well,
so,
we're both having just as much fun.
Yeah, we are, aren't we? And thankfully, we both stayed upright.
Yeah. One more thing, actually.
Go on.
Oh. Impressed?
Yeah, I am impressed, actually. Come on.
Come on then.
Yeah, there's a lot of options. We've just hit one final section of tarmac before the end of our ride, and at this point I would have thought that the narrower gravel tyres on my bike would mean that I can roll a lot faster than the wider 29er mountain bike tyres on Alex's bike, but no, apparently not. So Alex, I've found this website called bicyclerollingresistance.com, which is an absolute treasure trove of nerdery. They test in a lab road tyres, gravel tyres, mountain bike tyres, and I spent a lot of time on there looking at the test results for mountain bike and gravel tyres, and it seems that wider mountain bike tyres can roll typically about 5 watts per wheel faster than a gravel tyre, because the wider carcass basically rolls more efficiently in a lab, enough to offset the extra tread that you typically get on a mountain bike tyre, which has kind of blown my mind.
It's pretty impressive, yeah, I'm very impressed, but even with that lower rolling resistance, it's not helping me out much when, well, I've got a 34 tooth chainring and you've got a whacking great big 58 tooth.
58? Yeah. No, it's a 48, but yeah, still.
Oh yeah, God.
It's carried away. It is pretty big, and yeah, that is a big difference actually, is that with my 2x setup, I've got gears far better suited to riding on tarmac, that is for sure. But I'll stay with you, mate.
Oh, cheers, yeah, thanks.
yeah, as tempting as it is to ride home as fast as I possibly can and get warm, I'll stay with you, spinning away.
Ideas, yeah.
You are actually. Look at that thing. Check it out, the gravel's got gnarly.
Yeah.
We've gone from smooth manicured gravel to, I believe, chunky gravel is
Yeah,
the term.
that's right, this rocky track.
Yes, basically.
These wide tyres, well, Continental wide tyres I've got on, 2.3s they are. They're coming into their own on these rocky terrain, and while I'm going over the big rocks with ease, you're really having to sort of finesse and work the bike to get over them.
I am. I've got a traditional 40mm wide gravel tyre, and it does make a big difference on this, doesn't it? But whilst it sounds like a sort of simple thing, talking about tyre clearance, actually when you fit bigger tyres on like that, there's a whole load of knock-on ramifications that a bike brand has got to factor in. The wider the tyres, the further away from that kind of nimble road bike-like feel that you get with a more traditional gravel bike like this one. So it is very much like the spectrum, isn't it?
Yeah, it covers all of it.
Bonkers. What a difference tyre width makes.
Yeah. Back up to the top.
It's quite a long
Come on,
climb,
let's
actually,
get going.
Although we are definitely both riding bikes with drop handlebars, it does feel a little bit like we're on completely different machines.
Very different.
Yeah, like you're about twice my size.
Very high up on this.
You look like you're on a monster truck.
A very short monster truck.
Yeah, you've got a nice position for technical riding, I guess. I suppose I could get a position similar to yours on this, whereas I guess you'd have to compromise that bike if you were going to try and get a position similar to this.
Yeah, but that's what this bike's about. It's about being rowdy and extreme, that's it. That's why I built it.
You do look rowdy and extreme.
Words never used to describe me.
Let's put it there.
Cheers, man.
That was a seriously good ride, even though it was absolutely freezing cold and chucking it down with rain for the whole time.
Yeah, not optimal. But it's been amazing for really highlighting the difference between these two bikes, even though, of course, they are both gravel bikes, and it's been great fun as well, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. I guess it shows, doesn't it, that there is no such thing as a gravel bike. A gravel bike is like a mountain bike, which is to say that you could have a cross-country hardtail or you can have a downhill bike. Although they're both still mountain bikes, they are completely different. What's different here, though, is that you would never want to take a downhill mountain bike for a bike ride, would you? Whereas actually the nice thing about gravel bikes is you can ride them no matter what end of the spectrum they're on. The thing that I've taken from this, though, mate, is the fact that we're using drop handlebar bikes in these foul conditions. It's not that long ago that we were racing cyclocross on road group sets with a smallest gear of 39/28. And now, because of a lot of the mountain bike tech that's come over to make a gravel specific group set like GRX, you just like, they just work flawlessly.
It works perfectly, and it's exactly suited for the job it's intended for.
Isn't it just?
Perfect.
There we go. That was cool. And to anyone who doesn't live in the UK, yeah, this is what UK gravel riding is like. Living the dream. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and remember that you can head over to GCN Tech now and watch a build video of these two bikes going together and a little bit more information about the products that we've been using as well.